Hello, everybody. I am sorry that we're late. We've been having a lot of network blackouts in my area, so here we are. It took a minute for everything to go back to where it needed to go back to, which is really frustrating. But we're still here. I'm just gonna get TikTok on board, and then we are gonna do the weekly healing circle. Lots of stuff going on this week. Lots of stuff going on this week, but I hope that everybody is having a good week so far. Listen. We are doing this from the comfort of my room because the sunroom right now is a little hot and we don't have a fan in there yet. So in order for me to stay calm, cool, and collected, we're gonna do it from here. So let us get the clock app together and then we're gonna get started. First of all, Neptune going retrograde is a huge deal. Like, y'all, hold on. Let me get my notes together because literally this whole disrupted my life. But we're gonna be talking about Neptune in Pisces retrograde because oof, 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 oof. Oof, oof, oof. Because it's going to be very important. And it's also going to be really long when it goes direct. So Mercury is going to be a whole entire tank. Wait, there's like a ton. The whole StreamYard just refreshed and there's like a ton of comments. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hiya. Oh, I'm like all over the place because we're so late. So we're gonna start doing daily videos now. So you guys are gonna get a video daily for me on YouTube specifically. I be uploading on TikTok like almost every other day. Like sometimes I gotta be in the mood to do it, to be on TikTok because it's a whole experience to be on TikTok. But YouTube, you guys are gonna get videos from me every single day, and I have some going up. We're gonna have a womb healing meditation. There's also gonna be womb clearing exercises. I have like a ton of stuff planned. Like, stay tuned. And if you missed the last workshop that we did, which was all about healing generational trauma with the matriarch, I'm about to post the part 2 of that workshop. If you missed it though, if you were not able to make it, if you join the Patreon on the High Priestess level, you get access to all of my past workshops. That includes the ones that we just did. The meditation on that workshop was amazing. Everybody said they had an amazing experience, so I'm really excited because that meditation was an hour long. And we had some new, like some first time 1 hour meditation folks experience some things. It was really amazing. But yes, so if you wanted to do get part 1, because we're gonna do part 2, it's coming up. I would recommend the Patreon because it's the only way to access the twang. Okay. But hello everybody. In my country it's 2 a.m. So babe is in London right now and she done fell asleep. She texted me and she fell asleep. So I'm assuming it's around the same time over there. Hello Juliana. Hello everybody. How is everybody doing? Oh my God, everybody's like out of the United States. That's amazing. Congrats. Congratulations. Hello, everybody. Oh my God, Lana. Wait, hold on. I haven't seen Lana in a minute. Hold on. Lana, hey, Abby, so glad to be here. I had the baby, everyone. Oh my God, congratulations. And in cancer season. Oh my God. Congratulations, boo. Many blessings. Take your time healing and all of the things. But oh my, no, you have been missed. You definitely have been missed. It's been a minute. It's definitely been a minute since I've seen you. Congratulations. Yes, congrats. Congrats, Solana. Everybody say congratulations. Hello, everybody. Hello. How's everybody doing? Hello. Oh my God, we have so many people here today. Hello and hi on TikTok. Hello. So we're going to be doing Lord, I'm in the US. I didn't know you had a different time. No, I'm in the US too, but there's a lot of people in the chat that are apparently in other countries. So hello, 2 a.m.ers. That's crazy. But that would be me too. That would be me too. I like to call myself Batman because I'm a night person. Um, I'm a night person. It is what it is. Canada, we got Canada in the house. We have Canada in the house. It's only 8:50 here in New York. Yeah, I'm in the tri-state, so we're like we're in the same time zone. We're in the same time zone. But hello everybody. Okay, so we gotta talk. Okay, we gotta talk. So Neptune going to retrograde in Pisces. Neptune going retrograde in Pisces. Listen, this retrograde does not end till December 4th. Okay? December 4th, Neptune will be in retrograde in Pisces. Neptune is one of the planets that moves really, 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 really slow. Okay? Takes a really long time to move from sign to sign. Okay? And so the retrogrades tend to be a lot longer than other, retrogrades, especially because Neptune is a generational planet. So keep that in mind. But Neptune in retrograde in Pisces is an amazing time to really dive into your spiritual practice. This is an amazing time to get therapy, to grow spiritually, develop your spiritual abilities. This is a great time. This is a great time to reconnect to some ancestral practices. This is a great time to also, for the truth of certain things to be discovered, okay, in a large medium, okay, in a large kind of way. It's not small, in a large kind of way. So it's important for you to know where you have Neptune in Pisces in, because that's going to show you how you will be impacted with the retrograde. Okay, so we're gonna go through the houses because I know you guys like it when I go through each house and how it impacts you. We're gonna do that because I know you guys like that. But Neptune and Pisces, amazing for spiritual development, amazing for creativity. The works, the art, the albums, the whatever gets written or done during this time can be something of a nostalgic kind of thing. Like it's almost like the works of art or the songs that are written during this time are very much like reflecting and processing different trauma, reflecting and processing different issues, really trying to kind of get clear, because y'all got to remember, Pisces is the sign, is the last sign, is the sign of reflection, dreams, the subconscious mind. That means that your dreams also, there are certain things from the past that you will be dreaming about. Like, let's say you are like you're doing a spell, like, yo, what's my blockage? Where's my blockage at? And it's a past life issue. You'll probably dream about that past life. You'll probably tap into the Akashic records and then actually open it up, but not fully understand what's going on. Like, you might see yourself there, but you might not understand what's going on. But that's something that could 1000% happen during this time. Great time for divination, time for uncovering the truth, great time for spiritual development, ancestral work, generational trauma healing, especially to look at blockages that have been trapped throughout a longer period of time spiritually, because Neptune and Pisces rule spirituality, astrologically speaking. And so this is an amazing time to do the work, okay? But you also have to go with your own flow. What I would recommend is to let your intuition guide the path in which you're going in whatever house that it's in, okay? We're gonna break down the houses, but just let your intuition guide you. Listen to yourself, okay? The moon and Neptune have a very much of a water energy, like connection intuitively, because while the moon rules your intuition and your intuitive abilities, Neptune is the foundation of your spiritual practice, right? So if you are literally, if your practice, if you're like, okay, I want to work on my spiritual development, you're working with different spirits and beings and deities and whatnot, and you're like, hey, I would really like to develop this, I'm really trying to get better at this, or I really want to get to master the skill or master this area, and you're doing the work, spell work wise, Neptunian energy, and then your intuition is tugging you and pulling you into a certain direction, that's how that specific spell is working. So you have to learn to, during this time, there's a great time to let your intuition just guide you. Okay. Let your intuition just let yourself go with the flow of things, and see how you want to navigate these energies. Okay. See how you want to ultimately, the moves that you want to make, follow intuitively. Also work with your ancestors during this time, because they done been through like everything under the sun. So you're gonna want to, tap in, tap in. Okay. This is a really, really great time to get really comfortable with dream work, and also connect to the element of water, and heal emotional trauma, because Pisces and Neptune is very much water energy, rules the ocean. So it's a really good time to work with the element of water. If you were at the workshop that we just did, and again, if you want to go revisit that workshop, it's on the Patreon. If you were at the workshop, we used water to heal generational trauma. That was part of that meditation that we did. There's different ways to incorporate water, and to work with your own water, and to heal with the water element during this time as well. So just be mindful of that. Now, let's go house by house. Okay, so if you have Pisces in the first house, if you are a Pisces rising, okay, or if you have you have Neptune in the first house. If you're a Pisces rising, you have Pisces in the first house. This is an amazing time to do some amazing glamour magic. I cannot stress it enough, especially if you are trying to change the perception of how other people see you, especially if you're trying to, like, let's say, because Pisces, a lot of the time, Pisces risings get taken advantage of, or get, railroaded a lot of the time, because they're seen as very sensitive. They're approached as very sensitive, or very kind of like, like just kind of a little bit, flowy, and a little bit shy, a little bit like, in their feelings and stuff. So a lot of the time, Pisces risings kind of have this stigma, of almost, even though they're very powerful, almost lacking, or being submissive in a way. That's the word I'm looking for. So this is a great time to do some glamour magic if you're trying to tap into some other areas spiritually, especially if you're trying to, let's say, if you're working creatively, or you want to be respected for doing, or you have a creative vision on a project that you're working on, and you don't want people to see you as this, whatever opinion they have of you. You want to change that perception. Great time to do glamour magic. Okay, great time to really play around with the way that other people see you. You might reinvent yourself or your style. You might have different influences of your style. You might even take some things from the past, from history. You know how there's certain fashion trends that come that kind of like repeated from history. You might even tap into that a little bit, and kind of just even reinvent yourself a little bit with my Pisces risings. Really great time to work on music, or any kind of creative project that you also want to attract people to pay attention to you about. Great time to do that spell work. Great time for attraction work. Okay. Great time to also do, like, this is such a controversial issue within the spiritual community for some reason, but this is a great time to do attraction work in the form of love spells, if that's what you wanted to do. I am the type of person that believes that love spells are your damn business. If you want to do them, go do them. I really don't care. I am pro-choice when it comes to love spells. You do whatever the hell you want to do. The consequences of whatever the spell you do is it's yours anyway. So I don't care. But this is a great time for you to do attraction work in that regard, if that's something that you want to work on when it comes to love and glamour and attraction. Very like mermaid, like siren magic and stuff like that. Very much that. Great time to do that, but also great time for spiritual development. Now, if you have Pisces in the second house, this is a really, really good time for you to work, especially when it comes to your spirit, because let me backtrack. When it comes to the second house is the house of possessions. This is the house of value. This is the house of finances, because it is the house of possession, because it is ruled by Taurus. And so it's very much a monetary house. It is the things that we can feel, see, and touch. Pisces in the second house, you might even like, especially while it's in retrograde, you might splurge, buy yourself some divination tools that you've been wanting to buy from before, that you've been like eyeing for a while. You might, take a course or take a class or something that serves to develop you spiritually, or you might focus on funding or investing in yourself creatively in some sort of way, whether it be like, if you have to pay to publish a book, or you have to do something to get that, whatever it is, done. You might be focusing on also how you attract and magnetize and monetize certain works that you do. So let's say you have a podcast, let's say you have some sort of like you're an artist, or you sing, or you do things that are very much within the creative field. This is a great time for you to be doing money spells, money work, attraction work for that specifically. Glamour work as well, because you're going to want to attract that in and call that in different ways. If you have Pisces in the third house, this is a great time to work on those creative projects, write that book that you have been putting off for quite a while. The retrograde is going to push you to look backwards. So the focus is on the past. So if, like, let's say you got a book idea like 2 years ago, and you're like, oh my God, that would be such a great idea. Like, I already have it all in my head. Like, what the hell? But you haven't done anything about it. Great time to work on that. Great time to focus on how you're communicating. This is also a great time to do glamours with your voice, which is something that we haven't talked about on the channel, but we will talk about soon. Great time to do glamour with your voice. Great time. Again, this is a great time for singing. This is a great time for creatively expressing yourself. This is a great time for divination. If you have Pisces in the third house, intuitively and divination wise, you can do a lot with that as far as developing your skills and honing your skills, whether you want to learn something new or really master the skill that you're already doing. If you have Pisces in the fourth house, which is the house of family, this is the house of the soul. This is the house that we are born into, okay? If you have Pisces in the fourth house, you need to heal aspects of your inner child that have been blocked, especially creatively. If Pisces in the fourth house tells you not only what kind of child you were when you were younger, but also what kind of parent you're going to be. And if Pisces in the fourth house tend to have submissive elements to their personalities when it comes to their family. So this is a great time to do inner child healing, healing generational trauma, healing ancestral and family issues, and really focus on healing aspects of your own soul and your own soul's experience within the fourth house energies. Because again, this is the house that we're born into. So this tells you, having Pisces in the fourth house tells you, oh, there's an aspect of your soul that is amplified through creativity, self-expression, and reflection that you need to do, whether it be spiritually or creatively, that you need to do in this lifetime, okay? Your ancestors also might be very, very active in your dreams during this time if you have Pisces in the fourth. If you have Pisces in the fifth, you need to be giving yourself time to be playful with the way that you're creating, or even within your spiritual workings. Make sure you're having fun with it. Make sure that you're having fun, that you're doing things that are making you feel good. Why? Because the fifth house is the house of pleasure. Okay, if it don't feel good, why are you doing it? If it don't feel good, why are you doing it? Okay, you need to make sure that you are enjoying things. You might fall in love with different albums. Because it's in a retrograde, you might even like start listening to albums from like the 1970s or something, like the little past, okay? You might binge watch an artist, you might discover new music, you might discover different, not just artists musically, but artists, global term, right? And so really, really great time for you to kind of enjoy, discover, play, draw, do all of the things, experiment. This is also a great time for you to dive into the modalities and the different practices that your ancestors practice, and also dive into that. Let your inner child play in the ancestral creative realm in that way. And again, that goes hand in hand with healing generational trauma. If you have Pisces in the sixth house, okay, you're going to be doing a lot of healing. Okay, there's no if and ands or buts. You're going to be doing a lot of healing. You're just going to be doing a lot of healing base. So the sixth house is the house of health, healing, serving others, as well as disease. This is the house of the mundane, the regular, schmegular routine, and the everyday routine in life. This is the house. So you might feel actually a little bit lazy. And if you have been just kind of pushing stuff off, you might have to, go back into it. There's certain things that might have been neglected that need to be healed, but you need to focus on your healing in all aspects: ancestral healing, physical healing, emotional healing, your mental healing, your spiritual healing, all aspects of healing. You need to like really dive into how you can also use your spiritual practice and your actual mundane practices, the things that you're doing within your day-to-day routine to heal you, whether it be healing your inner child, letting yourself be creative. If you were someone who were very cooped up and didn't have time because you were kind of forced to just follow a certain procedure, you didn't give yourself enough time to play and for your inner child to just thrive in that way, then you're going to need to, you're going to need to give yourself time to do that. You're going to need to allow your inner child to heal. And you're going to need to like really sit in that dreaminess realm. I will say, because the sixth house also rules plant medicine and herbs, for Pisces, for having Neptune and Pisces in the sixth house, this is a really good time. Listen, I'm just going to say, this is a really, really good time to, while you're meditating, for specifically for healing, to get downloads. If you're trying to spiritually develop, great placement because you're healing and kind of putting yourself back together, right? But great time to use plant medicine to develop your spiritual abilities. That include hallucinogenic. I can't say the word today. But that includes that type of medicine as well. So if you want to smoke, you can do that. If you want to do mushrooms, you can do that. But it's a really great time if you have Neptune in the sixth house. Great time to do, because Pisces rules and Neptune rules substances. Okay, anytime that you're in an altered state, anytime that you're not sitting in consciousness and whether you're drinking alcohol, whether you're smoking, whatever it is, if you're in an altered state, you are sitting with Neptunian energy. And because Neptunian energy, because it rules spirituality, and it's very much, again, that realm that's very much is a call. It's a call and response. That you guys know, I call it the fog. You just like call and response. You call into the fog and it shows you what it is that you need, but you actually have to do that work. Okay. So if you wanted to do it that way and use plant medicine to heal yourself, great time to work with herbs, to study herbs. And I said this in the most recent video as per things that are happening in the United States. This is a great time to get into herbalism and study herbs and do the thing. Okay. Great time to dive into your spiritual practice. Great time if you're trying to become a healer, if that is what you feel called to do. Great time to dive into your spiritual studies. Take a workshop, do the things that you need to do. Okay. If you have Pisces in the seventh house, okay. If you have Pisces in the seventh house, if you have Neptune in the seventh house, this is going to be a time where you're going to see a lot of spiritual changes happening within your romantic life, as well as when it comes to justice. There's a lot of things happening socially, and we have to understand Neptune is a generational planet. That means that Neptune affects the generation. It is not a singular, it's not a personal planet. The personal planets that affect you individually, Venus, Mercury, Mars, okay, the personal planets. The generational planets don't just impact you. The generational planets impact the generation, and the generational planets also say how you impact the generation. So if you have Neptune, okay, the planet of creativity, glamour, illusions, delusions, spirituality, the subconscious mind, okay, in your seventh house, the house of justice, law, balance, marriage, business, enemies. Okay, this is a time for your protection work to be on point. I'm not playing with y'all. People literally been trying it. And also, since we're here, let me just remind y'all, I don't have additional freaking accounts. The spiritual community has been like getting attacked literally by people who are trying to scam our followers. The only place that hasn't happened is on YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube and you don't follow me anywhere else, you haven't seen it, because YouTube will take channels down and there will be lawsuits. Like, YouTube doesn't play with that shit. But everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, I have like 20 people making accounts, following people that are following me, and then DMing them talking about, oh, do you want a reading? You can PayPal me, or you can Cash App me or Venmo me or whatever. First of all, one, I don't have backup accounts. Okay, you guys know I only have this account, and I have the Between Ascension Instagram and the podcast. That's it. Okay. Second of all, I pay for a website. Okay, I have a business website. Why would I DM you for a reading if I have a website? Okay, please use discernment. We're gonna take a little of a pause because it's been pissing me off. I have a website. Okay, period. I will never DM you for a reading. Block and report these fools because they're literally like being hella annoying, and I'm not the only person that this is happening to. Literally every one of your spiritual creators, especially on TikTok and Instagram, it's just been happening to people just making accounts, and people have been falling for it because they don't know any better. They just don't know. So it's important to just make sure that you use discernment. If you're following me everywhere else, use discernment. We don't have no backup accounts. I am also, y'all, my third house is in Virgo. I don't like when things have, like, these people make accounts and they be like adding an extra I or a dot or an underscore and all that shit. I aesthetically, my third house in Virgo, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. It looks weird to me. It looks weird. Okay, and I know people have like accounts with that. I'm not shaming y'all for doing it. I don't care. I'm saying, personally speaking, I can't have the dot. I can't have the underscore. It bothers me. It bothers me on a Virgo in the third house level. Okay. I hope that y'all understand what I'm saying. I'm not shading anybody who has it. I'm just saying, personally speaking, I would never sit here and add 2 I's or add an underscore, 3 underscores to a business account. What was that? What? Please don't fall for it. Okay. It's a mess. It's a mess. But I literally have made up videos. I put it on my Instagram. I put it on the thing. I don't have any backup accounts. Don't fall for that shit. Okay. But please protect yourself. Please. That my Virgo moon in the third house feels that so hard, because it's true. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't, like, all these extra letters, I can't do it for a business account. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's just aesthetically not pleasing to me, like, personally speaking. Okay. And y'all, my Mercury is in Capricorn. If we're gonna do business, it's gonna look cute. Like, anyway, let me not get on a tangent. But Neptune in the 7th house. Enemies. Okay, and because in Pisces, this is on some spiritual warfare type shit. So be very mindful. Make sure you're protecting yourself. You could have things happening from the past specifically. You can also have things happening during this time that are literally ancestral. Like, if there's some sort of, like, let's say one of your ancestors had beef like a long time ago with someone who you never met, and all of a sudden you meet them, and because the ancestral beef is mutual on both sides, y'all automatically got beef, and all of a sudden y'all don't get along. All of a sudden this is animosity. All of a sudden it's like, what the hell's going on? There's gonna be stuff that's not gonna make sense. Piscean energy is not always clear. Okay, it's not always crystal clear clarity. This is not mercurial energy. Okay, this is Piscean energy. Certain things are not gonna make sense. Certain things that are happening are not gonna make sense. When it comes to also past like karmic relationships, past life, like relationships, soulmates, all that kind of stuff, this is a really good time for them to come in, because Neptune will be in retrograde. Okay, so it's an important time to make sure you're doing healing surrounding your relationships, balancing things out. I know that there's a lot of people that are doing spell work surrounding certain things that are happening governmentally, and I already gave my opinion on that. Go watch that video. We talked about Roe versus Wade already on my YouTube. Go watch that, because that's my opinion on it. But if you are going to be doing some sort of things, just make sure if you're in a coven, that makes more sense. There have been some crows circulating Congress lately within the protests, so I already know that there's been some people, tirándole, like doing some things. But if you're going to do some things, please make sure you are hyper protected, okay? Not just regular protected, that you're hyper protected, okay? If you're going to work with beings or anything like that to, for justice work or anything like that, make sure it makes sense, okay? If you are specifically trying to heal karmically things from the past, because this whole experience with Ro has been very triggering. That's something I talked about in that video. You might need to heal certain things ancestrally, because when it comes to people with uteruses, there has been a lot of oppression on what we can do with it for a really long time, and our ancestors have gone through this. So you might see certain things where certain things are very, very triggering to you on an ancestral level that you're going to have to balance out and, heal. Pay attention to that. There's going to definitely be some past life work when it comes to the seventh house energies. There's going to be some karmic work that's going to happen as well with having Neptune in the seventh house, because Libra is a very karmic sign. And this is something that I've talked about before. Libra is one of the most karmic signs. Okay. This is why Saturn is exalted in Libra. And so it's important for you to use, if you're going to use spiritually, if you have Neptune in the seventh, it's a lot easier for you to throw spiritually in that direction, in that way. But you have to make sure that you're doing it correctly and that you're protecting yourself. Make sure you're setting up boundaries with people, because this is also the house of enemies, okay? And with Neptunian energies, some of these mother truckers you don't see coming. So you got to literally protect yourself. Protect yourself, okay? When it comes to relationships, there might be some truths revealed. Okay, there might be some truths revealed. There might be some things that you didn't want to know that now you have to know. Just make sure that you are prioritizing your self-care, because and your own expression, because Pisces transmutes energy at the end of the day. They go through experiences, and all of the reflections that they have equal to the creativity. That is how their creativity is expressed. So just make sure that you're transmuting it creatively or spiritually, because they rule both of those things. Okay, work smarter, not harder. Okay. Now, if you have Neptune in the 8th house, this is going to be a very spiritual time. And it's going to mirror the 7th house a little bit, because the 8th house is also about the things that you have inherited. So you might see a higher activity on generational trauma and issues, death work. You might be, going through a very deep spiritual transformation during this time. Your spiritual abilities might also be greatly developing during this time. And you might actually dive in deeper to your spiritual studies. This is a great time to do a mentorship, take a workshop, do something where it's actually going to benefit you and transform you and elevate you in some sort of way. This is also, because it is the house of inheritances, it's tied to the 2nd house. You have to look at your generational issues, generational trauma, what you have inherited. That includes within your blood, because when it comes to ancestor work, you are the culmination of all of your ancestors. You are carrying the collective of their blood and their energy. It is blood magic. We are walking blood magic at all times as human beings. We are walking blood magic, okay? So you need to understand that if it's sitting in your 8th house, you're going to have to dive in spiritually and heal a lot of the blockages that have been passed down generationally. And this is why we have a workshop series that I started for ancestral generational work. That's what we're going to be working on for the next couple of months. I'm not playing with y'all. I'm putting out a work, okay? If you don't think I haven't used astrology to plan out the future workshops that we're having, then do you not know me by now? It's the 3rd house in Virgo talking. I'm always gonna bring opportunities of healing for y'all. You already know. And it's the entirety of my Capricorn stellium sitting in my 6th house, which is the house of Virgo. It's the collective of that. I'm gonna give y'all opportunities to heal. You already know. Just wait for the videos. We're doing daily videos now. Okay, just wait. Just wait. We're doing the thing now. If you have Pisces in the 9th house, this is a really great time to learn astral traveling specifically, or to travel, to take a mentorship outside of where you are, like let's say outside of your state, outside of your country, or to go somewhere else. It's a good time to go back to your ancestral land and study the spirituality there. It's a really good time. Like if you want it, you might even get initiated or get into the process of getting initiated during this time. It's a really good time to focus on your spiritual education. And that includes your creative education. You might want to go to school for something, or you might want to, like, let's say you went to school for something, you might want to teach what you learned as well, or find a way to, like just maybe even partake in a community that is in its expertise. It's the topic is about that one thing, whatever that one thing is. This could literally be either spiritual, or this could be educationally. You might be called to, even like if you wanted to work with plant medicine or plant education, you can really kind of navigate things differently. Like if you wanted to do some studying back end, and let's say you wanted to educate yourself on the spiritual properties of herbs all across Europe, like if you wanted to just dive in on all of the folklore, all of the different things, and just educate yourself on different areas or something like that. That's something that you can also do. But when it comes to Pisces in the ninth, when it comes to traveling specifically, there's going to be spiritual triggers. You might actually get called into certain lands. This happened to me in Mexico, because of course it did. But you might get called to certain lands, okay? Like you might have the overwhelming feeling of traveling to a specific place. I would say use your astrocartography to see like what, like you can see which, like where the planet is for that. And I highly recommend using astrocartography because it is amazing to know where the planets line up around the world for you, like which planet is going to be very transformative, where the lines line up. Is an amazing tool. But it's a great time to do that if you're traveling. You might have a lot of spiritual experiences when you're traveling as well, so pay attention to that. Different areas of the land might trigger you, and you might even pick up different spirits or tap into a different practice in some sort of way. If you have Neptune in the 10th house, congratulations, is a very creative time. When it comes to Neptune in the 10th house, Neptune in the 10th house is very like solidifying creatively. So you might be someone who is an artist, like an artist, okay? Or works in the industry, or is meant to do work in the industry in some capacity. You might see some movements in the elevation of that, like whether you want to be someone, again, in any field or part of the industry, or if you wanted to be the main face of the artist as well. But the legacy is surrounding, because again, 10th house is the house of legacy, okay? Neptune in the 10th house triggers your legacy, especially in retrograde. It's kind of like, okay, let us go. It's like Neptune saying, okay, let us take a trip down memory lane. Let's go back. Let's do the checkpoints, and let's see like what we're doing. Let's see are you comfortable with this? Is there something you need to heal in this time period, this year? Did you leave something that, just there that needs to be released? Is there energy trapped in certain years? How does your healing look like? You might have to dive into different aspects of Piscean energy in order to express it. But because the 10th house is the house of government, the house of career, social status, and legacy, it's really going to ask you, how have you been spending your time? And if it's creative, how have you been expressing it creatively or spiritually? Because that's the thing. Pisces is, again, it's that dual sign. It goes either way. So it's either you're going to have a presence spiritually. Let's say you're meant to be a spiritual leader or have a spiritual platform. You might actually be called during this time to actually launch that thing, or make that YouTube, or do that thing and start, building your community or whatnot, and start working with others and helping others in some sort of capacity. You might get called to do that, or you might get called to work on your artistry, or look at what you've done within that field and see where you want to go next. The 10th house is all about how have you spent your time? Like literally look at how you spent your time. Are you proud of how you spent your time for what it is that you're passionate about? Okay, because the 10th house is a very, very passionate house. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not a joke. It's not, it's going to force you to do the work at the end of the day. When it comes to the 11th house, okay, The 11th house is the house of friends. Okay, it's the house of friends. It's the house of society. It's the house of social media and technology. Okay, this is a very, very, it's a house. Okay, having Pisces in the 11th house, you might either get exposed for lying, or you might actually catch some of your friends lying to you. Certain truths might be revealed during this time. Y'all got to remember, at the end of the day, Pisces rules lying too, because it rules delusion and illusion. Okay, because they rule lying, they tend to do a lot of it, or other people tend to do it to them, and their intuition gets tested in that regard. So you either might get exposed for lying, or other people will get exposed for lying to you. You're gonna have to use your intuition for that. If it's not that, within the 11th house, great for creativity and having other people see your creative work. So let's say you're an artist. Okay, it's a great time to be on social media. Okay, it's a great time to communicate, to post, to do the things. It's a great time to express yourself creatively, especially if it's something that you've been just kind of being half-assed about, because that's also very much Piscean energy. So just make sure that you are doing it accordingly. But Pisces in the 11th house is also very spiritual. There's going to be a spiritual influence. If you have specifically Neptune in the 11th house, there's a spiritual undertone to everything that's gonna happen, especially socially. So if collectively, because Aquarius and Uranus focuses a generational planet, generational sign, focuses on the generation, focuses on what's happening right now collectively, you might feel called to do things spiritually, or to do spiritual work for the collective right now, or you might, the way that your spiritual practice is set up is very much in serving the collective in some sort of way. And again, that lends to being a spiritual healer or leader in some sort of way or capacity, if that's something that you have been neglecting or putting off to work on. If you have Neptune in the 12th, or Pisces in the 12th, this is a very, very dreamy time. You might feel a little, oh God, you might feel a little lazy during this time. Neptune in its own house is very much, it's great for amplifying the positive things about Neptune, but it can also be like the negative parts about Neptune too. So this could be a time where you are not or kind of in a flux or in a flow. Again, flowing, being that mutable, kind of sitting in that mutable energy, and needing to kind of just spend time alone reflecting. You might spend time indoors, focus on, looking at different types of artwork. You might do some deep dives or some studies, like when it comes to like documentaries or movies, or you might binge watch a lot of stuff. You might just sit in your reflections. You might listen to different albums creatively, or you might be writing them. Like, it really goes either way. It's great for spiritual development, though. Like, one of the things I keep saying is great for spiritual development. In the 12th house is going to have you reflect on the things that you're going to need to heal, because the 6th house and the 12th house are tied together, just as the 2nd house is tied to the 8th house. And so there is a reflection within your healing that's going to happen. So whatever healing you're doing, whether it be past life work, ancestor work, soul work, whether it be like working on your emotional healing, your intuitive development, blockages that you're having, your mental health, energy work, like there's so much that you can work with. Having Neptune being your 12th house could be a time for you to clear your energy and really develop energy wise. So it's a great time to kind of work on energy healing or crystal healing or something like that. It's a great time to really dive in into your spiritual studies. And your dreams are 1000% going to be amplified during this time. So I'm just saying, I'm going to use this one. Your dreams are 1000% going to be amplified during this time. Like, it's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. Now let's pull the cards for this week. This week is going to be a lot because we have a whole new moon in Cancer happening. And if you want to see my breakdown for the new moon in Cancer, it's already on my YouTube. I don't do it on TikTok because I talk a lot. I have a Gemini moon. I don't have enough time to be breaking stuff down in 1 minute. Like, I be watching people in their videos and like talking hella fast, trying to get like information in 1 minute. That shit irks me because I'm like, I have too much to say. You know, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I have too much to say. I can't do it. So yeah, it's gonna be on my YouTube for those who are gonna want to watch the breakdown. And there's going to be an additional live this week because I kind of want to do like just a straight like energy healing type of live this week. I'm going to try to see if I can accommodate it because I'm also doing the Akashic Records 5-hour intensive. So there's a lot of stuff going on this week that I'm working on, but we're doing it. We're taking it in one day at a time. But I will try to accommodate it. Maybe we can do a live just centered, just energy healing ourselves. I think we all need a little session. I'm just saying. I feel like we all need a little session. So let's see what is happening collectively this week. What are the messages collectively? What do we need to know? This thing drops in stacks. It dropped in stacks. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm dying because I'm dying because the damn justice card just jumped out right there. Like, oh my God. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Lovers, the 9 of Wands, the 8 of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. It's a lot of different cards. It's the bottom of the deck. The underlining energies is a lot. I can see why the Lovers would be the bottom of the deck. We're just coming out of Gemini season and shit like hit the fan real quick. So there's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of us that are still a little traumatized. There's a lot of us that are like have a lot of things to accept of things that are happening socially. So there's a lot of bullshit going on. But let us look at the cards. So we are starting off with the 6 of Swords. Okay, 6 of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Star. Okay, the 6 of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Star. So this week is going to be that week. It's going to be a foundational week first and foremost. This season, one of the things that I like to say about, Cancer season that people like to just kind of forget about a lot of the time is that it is a cardinal sign. Okay. It's like Aries, it's like Libra, it's like Capricorn. It is a cardinal sign. Okay. Cancer is not the sign that you want to be doing some effery in because Cancer will F you up with them claws. Okay. Let's just keep it 100. Cancer will F you up with them claws. This week is a tactical week. And you can see that within the cards. We're starting off with the 6 of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles, which means that there's a plot happening. Okay, there's a plot. There is a plot this week. Things are happening in a plot. This is the week that, because Cancer is also opposite to Capricorn, and y'all have to remember, when it comes to a lot of the shit that's happening with the government, I cannot stress this enough. We have Saturn, the planet of restriction and karma that rules the government with Capricorn, in Aquarius, the sign that rules revolution, that's literally also co-ruled by Uranus, a planet of chaos, upgrades, revolution, evolution, unexpected change. Okay, Saturn, the planet of restriction and karma, is in Aquarius in retrograde. And then you have Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, in Capricorn, the sign that rules over the government, the sign that rules over business, money, finances, okay, legacy, traditions, in retrograde. There's a plot. Okay. It's not like, if you think that shit's not going to get, I'm going to say worse, but it's going to be tactical. There's going to be a tacticality about it. On a personal level, some of you are a little bit more grounded, especially because one of the things that we talked about last week is how there is this trying to get realigned to that Empress card. And y'all remember how we got that Empress card and how we got that, what was it, the World card with the Empress card and the Empress ruling fertility. Okay. We literally got that last week. And so there's been a restructuring that's been happening. There's been a lot of foundational things that have been happening. And one of the things I will say 1000% with everything that's going on in the world, make sure that you are focusing on your self-care and healing, because this shit is traumatic. This shit is ancestrally traumatic to the bloodline. Okay. Because this is not the first time this happened before. And so you got to understand our ancestors already went through this shit and they're very much still traumatized by it. There are certain things that are very part of colonial trauma. And so when it comes to this energy, there's a plot. It's about handling it in a way that makes sense, especially to today's world and the technology that we have, which is why we're getting the star, the card of destiny. Okay. The card of destiny. Also, the Aquarius rules astrology. There are certain things that are literally going to they're going to happen. They're going to just happen. This new moon in Cancer is definitely going to be one that many practitioners are going to use for justice. Okay. This is why I was laughing earlier, because I already knew. Whether it is that you're doing it to release energy, because let's say, for example, if you haven't been throwing or anything like that, but you've been trying to transmute the energy, if you've been doing sensual magic or trying to just like get yourself feeling good, because that's one of the things about doing that type of, it's so annoying that we can't talk about sensuality and shit on here because the stuff. But when it comes to sensuality and sensual magic, and working with your reproductive spaces in that way to release energy, it is very, 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 very powerful. But it can also be a spell all on its own, whether you want to do it that way or not. And so when you release the energy, when you transmute the energy, it can be redirected where it needs to go, and it can be added to the scales of balance, even if that's not what you're trying to do about it, but that's what caused the issue. Keep that in mind, y'all. But because this is a very like tactical time, and I'm gonna keep saying tactical because it's giving me Mars in Capricorn, even though Mars is not in Capricorn, it's giving me Mars in Capricorn vibes. Because Mars loves being in Capricorn. Very, very tactical energy. But that's the word that's coming to me. It's tactical. It's like, okay, how do we move forward now? What are we doing? What's the plan? What are we getting behind? How am I going to proceed? We're getting the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is like, okay, we are collectively making this decision. This is where we're headed. Okay, this is what we're doing collectively. This is what we're doing together. This is how I'm going to address this. This is how I'm going to get back on track. Destiny wise, this is how I'm going to correct this. This is why, I'm seeing this in the stars. I'm getting this through divination. I'm getting messages in this way. Okay, cool. This is how this needs to be balanced. This is what I'm going to do in order to get that in balance. Okay. This is a very powerful week to resolve a lot of different issues. And this is also going to be a week because we have the Nine of Swords in reverse, and we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Some of y'all are quite literally just going to be like, no, I'm not going to sit here and let this shit impact me. I'm going to do something about it, which is great. So like literally there's this energy of getting to work. It's not about like this past week was a very like crying and processing emotionally week. This week is going to be very much, okay, like let's do the work. And listen, when it comes to getting stuff done, there's like, you know that saying where people's like, oh, you could do, what is it? You could do the job better if you do it yourself. Or that saying, it's giving that. It's giving, I'm not going to wait for you anymore. It's giving like, I need to get this done. It's giving, I need to bring this in balance. It's giving, I'm not going to let this impact me anymore. If this is happening to you on a personal level, you are in the position where you are actively not going to let past issues impact you in the way that they had. There's a lot of recalling your power energy happening this week as well on a personal level. You might just be like, you know what, I need to fix this. I've been letting this kind of just rot inside of me, and I need to, it don't sit right for me to just continue to let this shit just continue to flow in the same way. So I need to bring balance back, which means that I'm not going to give it my power. I'm not going to give it my emotions anymore. If I'm going to do the opposite, I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get to work. There's going to be a lot of communication. This is why Gemini, the lovers, is the bottom of the deck. There's going to be a lot of communications. There's a lot of tacticality. Everybody's pissed. And because everybody's pissed, the emotion is going to be like, okay, how do we do the work? How do we get from that one to the other? How are we going to get it done? Okay, how are we going to get it done? How are we getting it done? That's really the key. That's really, really, really the key. You have to process how you need to heal. And this is why I keep pounding it into your brains. You need to be doing healing work during this time. It took me like a whole 2.5 days to work through the energy that was built up. Like I needed 2.5 days. I had like videos to post and everything. I was gonna tell y'all we're doing videos every day. Nope, couldn't do it. 2.5 days. Had to do healing work. Because the stuff that happens within society 1000% impacts your energy. It is a generational issue. We are generationally transforming and healing constantly and breaking down the shit that the previous generation keeps trying to pass down to us. Like we're gonna just do that shit. We're not doing that shit. Okay, we're not gonna do that shit. Express yourself colorfully. For some people, this is gonna be cursing someone out. Do so as you wish, just be passionate about it. But express yourself colorfully. Colors attract attention. Colors attract attention. This is a time where you're going to see where you're going to see things like almost like the way things are going viral, or like once there's an agreement of this is what we're doing, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. I know that there's going to be like a protest around like what is it, the 3rd through the 5th, there's a no buying for 3 days, no buying anything, because who's the one that spends the most money in this country? Who are the ones? There's a no buying for 3 days. There's a whole entire thing happening right now. And so the way that it's going to be very, very loud, the way that it's going to make people notice, y'all, did y'all see that news story of like how, which one of the justices was it? Somebody pulled up in his house. They've been doxing all of the justices online. Like they got credit cards out on it. They got their credit cards in videos and stuff. Like TikTok keeps taking them down, but people just keep making more videos with their credit cards, their addresses. Somebody pulled up on one of the justices in their house with a whole, got arrested and said that they were pissed. It was a guy. He was pissed about the decision that was made. Underlining energies, be bold and resourceful. I'm telling you, it's tactical. Then we have new cycles of opportunities because this is a tactical week. This is a tactical week. You're going to see some doors opening. It's a new moon, right? So there's going to be things that are going to be very much like opening, the door opening, the direction opening, meeting and working on certain things. Like really, this is a great time to do a road opener, by the way, especially because it's the beginning of the month. But just keep in mind when you're doing that spell, the road opens could be very much backwards because retrograde energy. Okay, it could be very much like, oh yeah, can I have a road opening? Cool. But you have unfinished business over there. So the road is going to open with a U-turn and then it's going to bring you back over there. Okay, so it's going to be like a little loop to loop. Okay, it's going to be a loop to loop. And then it says trust in your dreams. Trust in your dreams. Because it is a water season. Okay, water energy is on, it's high. So the downloads that you're getting in your dreams are super, super important during this time. Super, super important. Show the world the real you. For some people are gonna come out. This is full moon in Aquarius. Some people are gonna come out of almost like the blue with expressing themselves. Like if there's people that don't use social media or just like sit on the back end, like they're not the ones that post or do that kind of stuff. They're going to be like more, there's going to be more people coming out and being a little bit more vocal than usual, collectively, just collectively. On a personal level, you're going to be feeling a little bit more expressive, and this is why I said some people's going to be cursing some people's out. Some people might get a little loud or might even change their style, or you might feel like inclined to kind of like just open up and be a little bit more of yourself, especially if certain people only know one side of you. Okay, the answers you need are coming, because there's still a lot of things that are being revealed right now. Still a lot of things that are being revealed right now. A personal issue reaches a resolution. Full moon in Cancer. Full moon in Cancer. There's definitely, if you have been putting the work this week, you're going to have that breakthrough. Especially if you've been trying to get back into balance, you're definitely going to have that breakthrough. Then we have emotions are running high. Super moon. Who is not surprised? Who is not surprised? This is definitely one of those times where it's like a moment, like that breakthrough, that door opening, into like the next thing, into that next thing. Especially if that's what you've been wanting for a minute, you've just been calling that for a minute. What do we need to know collectively this week? Free spirit. There is that sense of liberation energy and that sense of just kind of going with the flow. And again, it's like ebbing and flowing in the ocean. Spend time in the water, contemplation, because some of us are still going to be stuck in our heads. Some of us are still going to be, almost a little bit detached, but also at the same time very present, letting go. Again, it starts off with very much tacticality. Like, okay, I was pissed, I was this, I was that. Okay, I'm gonna just move that forward from that. And how am I gonna move forward? How am I gonna put in the work moving forward? And inner knowing. This whole season is about your intuition. What is it that you know? What is it that you know? Deep down inside, what is that you know to be true? Okay. If you were to tap into your own consciousness, your own intuition, what would it tell you? What would it tell you? Divinity. Your guides, your spirits are not like, it's not an abandonment or anything like that. There is actually a more of a connection divine wise. You're going to be seeing different signs this week. Especially when it comes to, because you guys know spirits like to talk through animals. Be very mindful of different types of symbols that you see as well, because that's going to be coming out of the woodwork. And then we have time. Certain things need time. Capricorn energy needs time. Okay. Saturn needs time. It's not going to flip in a day. It's going to take a little bit of time. There might be a little bit of pushback. And then we have stormy. It has to get a little bit. You have to understand that if you were to just snap your fingers and fix something in your life, it wouldn't have had a larger impact in your life for it to mean something, or for it to have that impact that it needed to have in the first place. Certain things need that time. Like, I spent this, when you do something where it's like, oh my God, you know what? I've been doing this for a year. I've done this, and then you can have that argument where it's like, I've been doing X, Y, Z, and B for a year. Like, how can you say X, Y, Z, and B? Like, when you can say that, that's time. You're arguing time. You're arguing how much effort you put into something. And so right now, it's going to be a little stormy, okay? We got Truth, bottom of the deck, and Divine Masculine, bottom of the deck. But there's a lot of things being revealed right now. Psychic being underneath that. There's a lot of things being revealed right now, and you're going to have to give it time for it to resolve itself. It's not just going to be like, snap your fingers, everything's fine. Snap your fingers, everything's back to normal. It's actually going to take more people getting pissed off. It's going to take more effort, okay? Collective effort, a tactical effort. What do we need to know collectively? Okay. We have protection and boundaries, because that is super important right now. What did I say in the beginning? You should be making sure that you are protected. Neptune energy is one for the people, like, especially like in retrograde, people that just come out of left field, like getting attacked from out of nowhere. So make sure your protection is on point. We have burden and heavy load. Some of you need to transmute and cleanse your energy. Some of you, depending on what state you're in or where you're at, literally what you're going through this week, especially the release that's going to happen through this like rebalancing that's happening, it's going to be like, okay, like getting that load off your shoulders, like really recalibrating, getting that load off your shoulders, and just that release. Cunning and resourceful. Because like I said 5,000 times, tactical, responsibility and balance. It's a tactical move. We're doing tactical moves. So what makes the most sense? What is actually going to create action? How are you going to actually get to where you want? How is it that you're going to get from one to the other, to where you want to get to? It's a lot. It's a lot happening right now. Let us pull one from our set real quick. Our set. What do we need to know this week collectively? We have initiation. You are being initiated into the divine mysteries of light, love, and power. There are moments of profound challenge. The key is to find the light within the challenge, the opportunity for growth that can transform any challenge into an experience of healing. With compassion and cleverness, you will not burn during these challenges. You shall thrive. Okay? Not surprised I'm seeing that card at all. We need to know collectively. Okay. Then we have Goddess of 10,000 Names. Okay. She's a Neteru, by the way. Just letting y'all know. If you have felt constrained by a role, name, or identity and are wishing for assistance in growing beyond it, or if you have sensed a new role or identity calling you into a greater expression and would love some divine help in that growth, this oracle indicates the help you need is already within you, urging your growth from within. Okay? Okay? And then we have abundance of Sothis. Okay? And it says abundance in many forms is increasing in flow to you now. Continue the good work of building channels through which abundance can be delivered to you. Freely share your talents, love, and wisdom and self, and enjoy the abundance responsibly flowing to you in many forms over and over and over again. Okay, beautiful time to see some manifestations blossom, and I really see that if you've been really putting in the work and creating space to receive, you're going to see that come in and that abundance flow through. But just make sure that you're protecting your energy. I cannot stress that enough. Cleanse as much as you need to. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be revealed. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be annoying, and a lot of things that we're going to be very critical of, that are going to make our energies dense. But we need to make sure that we are healing ourselves as things are happening, not compounding everything inside, and then we blow up from overwhelming emotions later. Okay? I said the thing. Anyway, so that is a weekly healing circles, my love. Okay? Okay. For those who are on TikTok, if you want to revisit this live for any reason at all, it is on YouTube, because YouTube always has everything available for replay. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Thank you to the Patreon members for all the love and support. Once again, if you want to see the workshop that we just did on healing generational trauma for the matriarch, hilariously, it is on Patreon. So on the high priestess level, that's where you can find it. And the workbook for healing the ancestors is also on my website. The link will be down below. Link will be on my bio for TikTok. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I will see y'all in the next video. You guys are getting probably 2 videos tomorrow, to be honest. We'll see. I might space them out. But I love you guys. I will see y'all in the next one. Thank you guys for being here. Yeah, have a blessed night. Stay safe out here, y'all. Literally, stay safe. Stay safe.